Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? GM. Welcome to the Web3 Breakfast. It looks like there's something's up with the space. I don't really know. It says your mic will be off to start reconnect, but I didn't connect here. I never do. Wild. I don't know if the space is working or not, but I hope you guys are all right. We'll get that thing checked out in just a second. Maybe have to start a new one. Maybe we got instant rugged like we did yesterday morning. This time, instead of in the trenches with the meme coins, it's doing spaces about meme coins. We got the old rug ski from Twitter, I think. All right, I'm going to end this. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to end that space. We'll start up a new one in just a second here. We'll get through some information about what's going on in the markets, and then we'll have to get that thing going again. So let's do this. Let me switch these things up so you guys see coin market cap on the big screen. All right. And we are going to have to do a new space. So bear with me for just 1 second, guys. This is a great opportunity for y'all to go ahead and smash the like button. Number one thing you can do right now. This would be fantastic. Obviously, the space rugged by Twitter, but you guys are here watching the stream and everything is going fine here. So go ahead. Yeah, I'll get it restarted, DJ and Brian. But go ahead, guys, smash the like button. If you are watching on YouTube, if you are watching on X, you know the drill. Tap the heart, and we will get this thing rolling. Let's see, investing, crypto, mindful wellness, meme coins, and start now. All right, so we have just mute. All right, so the space is back up and live. I will have to post it out so everybody gets word. Let's go. New link. Rugged. All right, there we go. The new space is up. And now that means that I should be able to navigate on over to, let's see. Let's refresh. Man, I'll tell you what, annoying that, see, it's telling me reconnect. I don't want to reconnect. I just want to use this. There we go. All right. So if you feel like joining the space, go for it. If you just want to hang out here on the live stream, go for it. We're talking meme coins today. I would definitely be pulling up some DEX tools in a little bit here. There you go. And maybe some trading view. And some of these coins we might be able to see on Coin Market Cap. But really quick, before we do, I see my guy Mike, the Modern Canadian, coming on up to the stage in the space. Let's go. There were some other posts. There were some other coins that were listed on the original post for the first space, the one that rugged. So let me check out and see what that says. Because this was from this morning. Let's see here. Where were those? Somebody was leaving comments about some coins to check out. And I know one of them was so Lily was something to check out today. We'll have to take a look at that. I know the Hive Mapper, that was something that was recommended for us to take a look at. So we're going to have to take a look at a couple things today. But Mike, GM, brother, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. Took yesterday kind of to unplug and recharge my batteries, and I'm ready to fucking rock today.
There you go.
What kind of meme coins are we talking about today?
Man, we're looking at them all. Maybe some familiar ones, maybe some new ones. I'm not really sure. I would love to hear. Man, I kind of figured that there would be some projects that would come in and want to show their coins, but hey, I guess I'm wrong. I thought that we would see a few projects pop in here this morning, but that's okay. We still got plenty of time. We're just getting started. Things are just getting started. In crypto news, I will tell you, there was a post that came out just a little bit ago from Ondo Finance about an hour ago. They are bringing OUSG to the XRP ledger with Ripple. That's massive. That's big news. Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I just saw your post.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy, right? To see just the let's talk about both Ondo. We've seen this thing explode recently, right? With a lot of attention. XRP, same kind of thing. We know there was a deal that something that I think it was Brad Garlinghouse had said earlier in this month that, he said, in the last 6 weeks of 2024, they inked more deals here in the US than they did in the previous 6 months, right? So this is like some of that stuff that's coming to fruition from that, right? The OUSG adapt to the XRP ledger with Ondo. I think that's freaking awesome. Neil joined us.
This year's gonna be crazy,
Dude,
dude.
2025 is gonna be absolute nuts. Were you the one who was saying, was it last week? Maybe we were talking about, really the expectation of February, and if you look historically, like February is pretty bullish, right?
You talking me?
Anybody?
Oh, no, I'm saying March is bullish. Every time it seems like I go on a birthday trip or something with the kid in March, I don't pay attention to it, and then I come back 2 or 3 days later and it's pumped, and I'm like, what the hell happened? So I don't know. Maybe it's just coincidence, but it does. Spring usually see a little bit of a pump there when the checks go out.
Yeah, everybody get their little tax refund and then sell it as soon as you get your tax refund and you buy your coins. Aren't you supposed to sell in May and walk away?
Hell
So
yeah.
by the time you get your tax refund and you buy your crypto, you got 30 days until it's time to sell it again, right?
Pretty much.
So last bull run, it was like February, March were just like insane. But I've been hearing rumbles. I've been listening to a lot of Raul Paul lately. He's talking about how this cycle seems to be more like the 2017 cycle. So what I would keep an eye on is liquidity, and watch when China starts to print liquidity, because the US dollar is so strong and it's really hurting other countries. And eventually they're going to start having to end QE. And I know Canada is like, I keep reading articles like from different banks here that like Canada is going to be ending, quantitative tightening and move to QE pretty soon. So when like the ECB, like Europe and Canada and China start flipping to quantitative easing, the US will be last, but then that's going to happen too. That's where the floodgates are really going to open.
I don't disagree with that, man. I have been reading a little bit more about quantitative easing and where we're at right now, and we should expect that to actually happen this year, like pretty soon, right? I feel like they got to inject that liquidity soon.
Just a matter of
It's better
time.
than lowering the rates, which they don't want to do. I think they've said that they only want to do that, 2 times this year? Which we looked at the number. I looked at the numbers yesterday. I think it was yesterday in the afternoon show, right? I don't think it was in the breakfast show. The percentage of a rate drop this week, and it's like 97 point something percent that it's going to stay the same. So it doesn't look like we're getting a drop this week or this month, I guess.
Yeah, tomorrow Canada meets for their rate cuts. I believe this week the ECB meets as well. So you'll see Europe and Canada. Most likely, I know Canada's probably going to be cutting rates like furiously.
Didn't Japan raise their rate?
They did, but they're like one of the lowest inflation. Like they didn't even really have inflation until recently. Until this, like after the whole pandemic, they were like the lowest inflationary country in the world. I think in the world.
Interesting. Very interesting. Hash, what do you make about all this?
Hey, look.
Or go ahead, Neil.
Let me add one thing in there real quick before you jump to Hash, because I do want to hear what he's got to say too. But all I want to say is, man, can you believe that Ripple is like doing this shit? That they made it through this case, and all this time, finally it worked out to where they wanted it to be, and they had a plan going forward. It's crazy that team put all this together and maintained it for that amount of time. And I don't know, just interesting, and I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's really interesting to let's just talk about the crypto space in general, right? We talked about mass adoption. You guys hear me say that, like, we're here, right? And I think the more and more that you hear about some of these partnerships or where things are going, and like let's just throw the whole Trump coin out for a little bit, right? And I know that we're talking about meme coins, and that might be the ultimate meme coin of maybe it's a top signal too. Who knows? But the whole idea of where we are at and how we're starting to see this mass adoption puzzle come together. I mean, fuck, this is shit that I've been hearing since 2017 when I got into this space. Like this stuff is happening right now. It's just so wild to think like you just might have some validation. Like if you've been in the space for a while and your family called you crazy and you kind of you went through, you drug through the shit storms that were 2019 and 2020 and all the bullshit that we went through over the last several years. And we do a really good job of making a bad name for ourselves in this industry, right? With the rug pulls and the Sammys and the Do Kwans and all that kind of shit. But like at some point, we were begging for the space to get cleaned up, and we let the institutions in. The governments are doing it, and so obviously, like we're on the path to really, again, I think that we could all agree that we are now, like officially here. Like crypto is part of the financial ecosystem, and so you hear other people say it. I've said it, earlier. Maybe it was last week. I don't know. Anyway, Hash, forget about what I said for the last 30 seconds. It was just a ramble. How do you think about all this stuff? Wonderful. Perfect. Hash just rugged.
I actually think we're still at the beginning of all this, man. I know you say look, we're here, but I really don't think we are. I think we're starting. I think the institutions are leading the way, but not all the institutions. Only the big boys, the trendsetters of the institutional world. You still have your average day, hedge fund doesn't even fucking offer this to customers. Banks are going to offer it to customers, come probably in the next year or two. Like they just revoked the regulation where the banks can actually now hold crypto on their balance sheet in the US.
Right. But like that, I mean, that to me signals that, mass adoption is here. Like we just like the implementation of it. So people want it. Yeah, I don't think like every, mom and pop shop is ready to convert, sales to crypto and whatever. But I feel like now that we've got a president who dropped the meme coin, they are an extremely pro crypto administration here in the United States. We're seeing other countries around the world adopt the same kind of philosophies and mentality where, they're just trying to get as much right now Bitcoin as possible. But I feel like that's going to change. I know that we've been making fun of Maxis this week about the whole thing with them trying to FUD XRP, but I think that's all that's really interesting to me on a different level. But I think when the dust settles after this bull run, we will look back at these moments and be like, absolutely, this was the defining moment when it all came to fruition as far as adoption. Now, again, implementation by the banks, like they want it. They've asked for it. They've asked for the SEC to fast track and approve all this stuff with tokenization and everything. Like it's happening. Like it's literally happening right now. Phase one. Let's call it phase one of the mass adoption plan, right? I don't know how many phases. How many phases do you think there's going to be? 3 to 4? This may be like
I don't even know if it's gonna go phases. It's just gonna be like slowly, then like all at once. And I'm still holding on to the like this is the start of it, and then this bear market is when a lot of the work gets done the next couple of years, and then the 2030, 2029 cycle is gonna be just fucking absolutely mind-boggling. And maybe that's where the 4-year cycle just gets thrown out the window.
Do you so with the 4-year cycle, like even for this, now we're talking strategic reserves and all that stuff. Like, do we go into a bear cycle with Bitcoin, with crypto anymore? Like, and explain, however you think it's going to happen. Please feel free to, and this goes for anybody, come up to the stage and talk about it. But honestly, I think with everything that's happening that we're seeing, nation states adopt, institutions are going for it. We're getting ready to just absolutely launch this thing nuclear. At what point who's going to be the big sell-off to create the bear market when you've got countries competing for stockpiles? It just doesn't make sense anymore.
Well, imagine us having that, maybe not this cycle, but maybe next cycle we have that S curve and we just rocket ship up. Maybe we skip a cycle. Maybe we have so much growth that we actually skip a cycle, and then the next cycle comes around and we don't have like a new huge peak. Maybe it'll seem like a super cycle, but like we'll just have so much gains in the next cycle, and then it kind of levels off, and then the volatility of the asset class just kind of levels off a bit, and we don't have these 65-70% dips. At least in Bitcoin, you're still gonna have your big dips in altcoins because there's still a lot of them are still speculative, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think, if you look at historically, right, like the top 10 cryptos by market cap, that list as a constant shuffle, right? With the exception, obviously, of Bitcoin and Ethereum or staples, number one, number two. Now, I don't think, I don't remember how far XRP dropped, throughout the last cycle when it was, suppressed and going through the case and everything. But when you think, and also you talk about, all this stuff and getting through this part of the cycle, like, potentially, with the exception of new things that come up, this could be the last time that we see really a shuffling top 10, right? I mean, this is set to be the bull run of all bull runs. I think this is where we really build the top 10 for the next decade, maybe longer. At some point,
I totally agree with that. I even think with like AI, where say coding is no longer a barrier anymore. What language you use to code, because AI can code in any language. Does Ethereum like stay number two because it has the developer base? When if anybody can code and anything and build on anything, and people get to choose, they're not restricted by coding language. Maybe Ethereum dies off. Like just because it's a first mover doesn't mean it stays around forever. Just look at Blockbuster.
I think Ethereum does die off at some point. I don't see how it maintains with all the other chains that are doing so well. And I don't know. And I haven't used Ethereum in a long time since they've had this update where they're now deflationary and they got. I'm assuming it's a cheaper gas fees and stuff. But like I said, I mean that I just haven't used it because I don't like it, and I don't see it staying at number two forever. I think it's been propped up there, so I don't know. But going back to the meme coins, we say there's not going to be much volatility in this space. It may just be that there's not much volatility for the institutional type coins and the larger market caps. But man, DGN's still going to DGN, and folks are going to lose money, and folks are going to make money, and there's no way that anybody can stop it with the meme coins.
Well, until there probably will always be the decentralized market for it, right? But at some point, I'm sure, much like you can't just issue a stock, right? Like you have to go through a whole process. I'm fairly certain at some point there will be some process where you need a broker or a money transmitter or whatever it is, whatever kind of license that you need to issue a crypto, that there has to be, to avoid like what we're seeing right now, where you get 50 fucking derivatives of every shitcoin that gets launched. Like
that is annoying as shit, though. You're right about that.
It's just like the whole, we saw a case precedent that happened, the whole thing with Ryder, Rips, and Pauly with the Yuga thing, right? Where basically we have now, again, case precedent that states you can't or you shouldn't be doing derivatives, right? And obviously that threw the baby out with the bathwater when they launched Ape Chain, but that's a whole nother thing. But with that being said, like maybe there's a way to implement some kind of, I don't know, it's just with the decentralized free nature, free market nature, like you can't say like you can't launch a coin, like that's not going to work. But at some point you got to make it that way that not just anybody can fucking launch a coin and scam people. I know that goes against the meme coin ethos right now, but whatever. Ash, what do you want to add to this?
Oh, wow. The dinosaurs went extinct. I think it's a little hubris to think that the top 10 are going to stay the top 10. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, of course, that's how we feel now. Things are so settled, but like they're not. We'll see, right? Like, what were the top 10 stocks, 15 years after the NASDAQ opened? And is that the same 15 stocks that are at the top of the NASDAQ now? Almost certainly not. You to follow up?
No, I was going to ask you, what is the first thing? I totally forgot because I was going to ask you a question based on something that you had said, and then it went away. But it was kind of more of a joke, but anyway.
That's all right. Yeah, second part is a joke. I think we need to create a meme coin that's actually just like Ditto from Pokemon. It's like a copycat. And anytime a new meta comes out, we change the name of the ticker to reflect that meta. And so, like, when the Trump coin came out, we could have been like Trump 2.0. And then we can just like continue to take liquidity from the market with our new ticker name. And then we'll never get old. We don't need to worry about dumping because there'll always be a new meta that comes along. 4-year cycle, something you hit on as well. No, my personal answer is no. Things are cyclical. So, like, will the nature of the cycle change? Sure. But, we have mass adoption theoretically in stocks, and they still run on a 4-year cycle, right?
Stocks have a cycle?
And most things do. Yeah, everything has a cycle.
It's the liquidity cycle.
I guess that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, if you were to look at gold, right, and we can take a look at the chart at some point. Maybe we'll look at it this afternoon on the show. But if you look at the chart of gold was going up while we were through a bear market, and then gold started to go down.
That's because gold is a hedge.
Bitcoin was going up.
That's because gold is a hedge.
Right.
It's a physical asset that people put their money into. It's like a government treasury bill, right? Like, the reason that people buy that in times of fear is because they want to lock in those like 8% profits, on a government T-bill. But when interest rates are really low, you're more willing to risk it in the stock market because, like, am I really going to get 2% for my government T-bill? So it's a risk off asset is what gold is, or traditionally has been. Now, granted, the ETF and other things have changed that, but traditionally it's a hedge, right? Just like all typically resources tend to be. Like, when the market was going down, I bet you coffee and grain and all that kind of shit was going up. Lumber, right? Because physical shit, like, give me those trees. That was what was going on.
Mike, what you got for us, my guy?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback of what Hack was saying, like, in any investing, not crypto, just literally any investing, you have to follow the macro. And the macro is like, the interest rates and the US dollar and how the US dollar affects other countries, because other countries have debt in US dollars, and the liquidity cycle, like, all assets follow that. And, gold is a hedge. Money will always flow towards treated best. And, like, if the safe assets, humans always go to safety. So they'll always go back to safer assets. And in regards to meme coins, I was listening to a Raul Paul interview this morning, actually with Mario, and love him or hate him, whatever. But they were saying, like, in a dystopian world, meme coins will become like the decentralization, like the community coins, because when we have like all this AI and stuff like that, and the AI starts to kind of take over, take over our jobs, and, like, they're the productivity, because humans no longer need to be to make goods and services, where the AGI will be able to do all that for you. Human connection will be like so valuable. Communities will be so valuable, and they actually kind of related it to religion, like in hard times and wars and famines and all that. Like, that's kind of like what religion was. It was kind of like brought people together and helped them get through the bad times. And it'll be kind of the same thing where communities are going to be so important, and human connection through meme coins.
I like that. Well, that was a good take. Hash, what you got for us, brother? And you could just go. You don't have to raise your hand.
I'm watching me on the stream right now, and I just wanted to tell you look very handsome today.
Thank you. That's the second comment. Meg also said that I look like a dad. I got the dad look going. I got my 3/4 zip long sleeve over the black t-shirt. A little too cold to just rock the black t-shirt today, so I got the double layer look. Thanks. No hat. Messy hair, don't care. I do need a beard trim though, like real bad. I was gonna trim it myself, but
I like it burly. I like it burly.
Like, I just need to get like the sides part trimmed, because it's like a little puffy right here, and like Sometimes if I go to shoot a video and I can't see my ears because my beard's a little too puffy, it makes me mad. So I've got to thin it out a little in the cheeks. Plus, it makes my face look a little thinner when I do that.
How does your partner feel that the way you look on video is more important than the way you look to her?
Well, I'm not gay, so she's my wife, not my partner.
Bro, give me a break. I live in fucking Canada. If I don't say that shit, they come and arrest me, all right?
Welcome. Well, you guys should just become the 51st state. So what was your question again about the beard?
Yeah.
I think that like probably would prefer it a little bit more trimmed and kept up. Like, you know, like right now, like for like smooches and stuff, I got like the whiskery upper lip, and nobody likes that. Like, I don't even like that. Like sometimes it'll even poke me like in my lip when I'm getting a smooch or giving a smooch to the whiffy. And man, it's just, you know, it's just time for a trim. Definitely she does not like bare face. What are you guys called? Whiskerless? Facial hair challenge?
Like a naked cat?
Yeah.
A follically challenge. I've heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah. I
got like that.
I am definitely one of those follically challenged gentlemen who
How
cannot
about that
grow a
abstract
full
launch? I don't
beard.
know. It was just the first thing that came to mind.
What happened? You guys, for
Good
whatever
morning, good
reason,
morning.
Post and Hash, you guys
Wait,
are
is he rugging or am I rugging?
you guys
Oh,
for whatever
shit.
reason can never hear each other, I think. Or it's a Canadian thing to do, to just speak over each other. I love it. But it's maybe you guys can't hear each other for some reason. I don't know.
I can hear half.
All right, how about now?
Gotcha.
Yeah, better? All right. Sorry, I usually it's not me that's rugging, but this time. Sorry, Postmaster.
No worries. Good morning, man. I just wanted to say, loving the conversation here, Jay Chains, and I really like that collaborative idea that like a new meta token. It almost makes sense to kind of create some token that's a revolving meta token. So I'm on board with that. Let's run it. Let's sell it. It's genius.
And that's it. The token is going to be NMT, new meta token. It's going to be just like what was it? What did they finally do for NFTs? They're like, nah, dude, they're like they evolve. Like it's not just like, you know, you might have like a purple background one day and then the next day it's green with like a frog, you know, like what is that called? Those NFTs that changed?
That would be a dynamic.
Thank you. I get that they're cool for like sports cards and that
Ordinal,
kind of stuff.
ordinals with dynamic NFTs.
How hard
You can
did
change the
ordinals
metadata.
die?
No, you could probably do that on certain chains, like on the hash graph. It's pretty easy to change the logo of your token, just pointing IPFS, and like if you're doing it on our version of Pump Fund, you just contact them and they change your logo. So it could be done on certain chains. I'm not sure about you know, the chain Solana, but yeah, good idea.
Interesting. I like that. So it's a dynamic coin and it just always changes to whatever's the hottest. And so that way you never have like, even though your chart may have some serious ups and downs, it's never going to be a total rug because you're just always moving on. You're not rugging, you're moving on to the next meta. It's dynamic. It's fluid, baby.
Well, yeah, we could call ourselves the Frank.
The
after
Frank?
our Lord and Savior Frank Gigods, who is also just moves from thing to thing.
Oh my God!
And I'm not even talking shit. Think about how successful he's been doing it.
Yeah, but you get whatever. Because people come into this space and they don't know, or they don't understand, or they don't care. I don't know. But if you like understand crypto and you understand what he's done with his little flippity floppity, he can't make my decision. Oh, I made a bad decision. I want to go back. Like, fuck off. I like those guys. They're fun to hang out with and all that stuff. I don't like the whole flippity floppity thing. Like, make your fucking mind up and stick with it. Please grow up. That's how
Wait,
absolutely, bro, absolutely.
Wait,
and I
really?
want to say
Go
with
down with
Felice,
a sinking ship?
Huh?
Like he should have stayed on Polygon, is what your theory.
No, but didn't he go? No, like the ETH to Sol thing.
Yeah.
You,
What about it?
I just feel like the flippity floppity.
Right, but in that instance, I'm saying the same thing with Polygon, right? Like he made a decision, he should just stick with it. Like, is there not shouldn't we?
I guess maybe just
on the
start
executive decision.
instead of just porting everything over, just start something new. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm not a. I don't.
Well,
I
he
don't
did that
ever
too.
like
He
regret decisions or go back on
DeGods
things.
on Bitcoin.
What's that?
He did that too. He minted the DeGods on Bitcoin, right?
Popping chains for a meme token makes no real sense other than pure greed and grabbing liquidity, unless you're bridging and creating like some technology that helps onboarding process to your original token. In my opinion, that's my opinion fully. But if you're jumping ship, but because of technology changing, like if you actually have like a product you're using in Web3 and you find a better chain that's faster, cheaper, more reliable, jump ship, go change your business model, do your thing. But like for meme coins, it's more about culture than anything. So you're basically like, born in a culture here and then trying to change your language or like wear blackface. To me, I don't know. That's just my opinion about that. But yeah.
How did we get blackface in there?
Well, hey,
a little Trudeau reference in there. If you're abandoning your original chain because there's not enough liquidity.
Brown face. Come on.
Oh no, he painted his face black. Come on.
Anyway,
I saw the picture.
Anyway, wasn't good enough back then. Just between the two.
So
powers.
no, but like at the end of the day, like semantics aside about how you want to relate it to what, like but that's what I agree. Like you're not this. It's not a product like DeGods. Like what's the product of DeGods other than being in a community? Frank's the product.
The product is create community and create a liquidity, like a kind of like a community environment, right? Community, new school community bank. So basically, you're closing down your bank in a community that maybe didn't want you or whatnot. But I don't know. That's just me. That's just what I thought.
Yeah. So okay. I just the whole idea of I don't know. I had something else and then I don't know. It's gone at this point. Whatever.
You know who else flip flopped?
Huh?
You know who else flip flopped?
Who?
Our Lord and Savior Donald Trump. He used to fucking hate crypto, and now he loves it. Don't hear anybody complaining about
different kind of flip flop. Acceptance.
Yeah, I think he was unsure of crypto, and he was very pro US dollar at the time. And I think he now sees what crypto can do for the US dollar. Maybe he's seen the technology, and he sees other countries fucking jumping ahead of him. And I think that's the biggest thing in his mind is he doesn't want to lose a race here in technology. And back to like the policing thing, like it's going to be up to the tools from the developers that we create here in Web3 that protect everybody. It's not going to be up to the fucking governments. The governments are the greediest motherfuckers on earth, and they don't give a fuck. I'm telling you guys right now. They're just going to try to tax it on the receiving end and do their best to make sure people aren't being fully fucking scammed by dirty people and mainly the policing of terrorist funds inside of crypto. Other than that, it's going to be up to us to create the developer tools that call out scams, bad wallets, blacklist, whitelist. We're going to do it to ourselves. It's already written in stone, basically. The technology's there. It's just implementation time. Back to you, Jay Chains.
All right. Hash, did you have some rebuttal on that? I see you were off mute.
Yeah, but I want to let you drive the ship for a while.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Listen, I like autonomous vehicles. Sometimes the ships need to drive themselves. So go for
it. U.S. dollar strength, I think, is another big one here. You saw me. I'm going to use myself as an example. I flocked to U.S. dollars because I knew what was going to happen, that the dollar was going to strengthen relative to the rest of the global currencies for the most part, specifically Canadian. And it's true. And it absolutely happened. And that happened under not Trump, Just saying. And I don't think that had anything to do with the president of the U.S. or it had to do with, monetary policy. We kind of forget how much of an impact that shit has, as much as we want to talk shit on Powell and what the Fed does. At the end of the day, their strategy in lagging against some of the other countries in the world really increased the value of the US dollar compared to other global currencies. And it made people be dealing in US dollars more than they had been in the previous years. And now you're seeing that start to change. And it will continue to change because they can't continue to be behind on a lot of these things. You'll see Trump come in and those things are going to change. I don't think Trump gives a fuck about the U.S., to be honest. I don't think he cares about any of that shit. I think he cares about his legacy and being elected and all those things. I believe that he thinks he's a great negotiator. As you can see from this most recent, negotiation with Colombia. And he's gonna prance that around as wins. But I just don't think that he's that different than Frank.
Well, I mean,
I really don't.
They both have an NFT collection and a meme coin, right?
Yeah, they do. And he tried some shit and it failed, and then he tried some new shit and then it failed, and then he dropped the coin and then it was very successful, and then he dropped the Melania coin. He dropped the Melania coin. I'm going to stick with that narrative because I don't believe that this whole she made him do it. No, fuck that. He dropped it, or at least his company did, in the absolute opportune moment for himself. He doesn't actually care about America the same way that Frank doesn't actually care about the D-gods.
Financially, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I think it's going to slow down the debt clock slightly. But what's really important are his policies around, keeping America safe and building infrastructure and bringing it home again, just bringing things home. We could see what they're going to take away from Canada is the things that we're seriously taking advantage of. And that is our cars coming across the border. We've been caught shipping things from Mexico to Canada with tires full of fucking meth and fucking all sorts of drugs and shit through this fucking trade. All right. And Donald Trump sees it, and he's not going to call it exactly out fucking how it is, but it is what it fucking is. And I'll tell you right now, I'm fucking proud of the things that he's fucking doing for his country. I don't think he's going to eliminate fucking debt with crypto or anything like that. I think he needed the crypto vote. Yes. Okay. Sure enough. But he's fucking stopping sex trafficking, fucking human trafficking, drugs at a fucking ridiculous rate, and sending home the fucking criminals.
Why did he stop it last time?
He didn't have the House, the Senate, and the White House. And he was very, very well pushed against by a lot of the elitists that didn't let him build the border wall. Now he's got everything. He's just going to walk around with a chip on his shoulder and show you guys what's up for the next probably 16 years.
I would say, Post, that you are absolutely correct in that point right there. His first term, if you guys remember, I remember saying, ain't no way would I ever do this job for you to get. He got shit on every single day for 4 years. They filibustered just about everything.
He didn't know what he was in for. He didn't know the depth of the attack that was going to come in. Now they've lost all their funding. They've completely thrown it out the fucking window at this fucking Harris broad, and it's fucking over for the Devs for the next 16 fucking years. Hallelujah, red fucking country. And God's going to prevail. Taxes are going to be nice and low.
No,
things are going to be free in the United States.
You're going to get rid of taxes. We're getting rid of taxes.
Angela, there's never going to be a 16-year span where you can call it that it's going to be one.
It's going to be a Trump. It's going to be a Trump dynasty because the next 4 years are probably going to be somebody that's very close to Trump. Probably it could even be his daughter, one of his daughters. Could definitely probably.
What's her name?
Here's what's going to happen.
Dynasty.
The emperor.
You laugh, but it's probably true, man. In the next 4 years from now, how old is his daughter going to be? She's probably going to be close to 48, 50. She'll be the youngest female ever fucking run, and I can see it coming a mile away, man.
Her name? What's her name? Do you even know her name?
Ivanka.
You think Ivanka Trump is going to be the next president of the United States?
I think she could probably win it. Yeah, 4 years from now, with her being inside the White House, learning
Now, if I asked you, are you
Probably,
sure that's not his first wife? How
it
sure are
probably
you that
could
that's
be.
his kid and not his first wife?
Our country doesn't really do the whole nepotism
Probably
thing
is
with
his first
leadership.
wife. I don't know.
Sorry, how sure?
Not sure.
You're not that sure. Okay. How sure are you, Jay Chains, that that's not his first wife and that's his daughter?
Wait, say this again.
How sure are you that Ivanka Trump is not his first wife, but is his daughter?
Always get them confused. So whatever, it is what it is. I'll tell you right now, one of the Trump dynasty, you'll see the Trump dynasty continue down the road. That family is so politically involved. If it's not Eric, it's probably going to be his daughter because everybody wants a female president, right? So I can see the narrative playing out.
I don't think everybody does, or else they probably would have voted for a female president, right?
Yeah, they just didn't want that weirdo.
That female president.
No, she was a straight up weirdo. Yeah, that's why. The only reason why she got any votes at all. Listen, I've watched people go around campus talking to.
See you guys. I'm done.